Welcome to the August 2025 monthly meeting of the Miami Condo Investing Club. This is a virtual meeting that is broadcast live at noon South Florida time on the second Wednesday of every month. A recording of the monthly meeting will be available for on-demand viewing at Miami Condo Club. This 75-minute podcast, which features a questions and answers session, is hosted by Peter Zalewski, a condo consultant and the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. The purpose of the monthly meetings is to share real-time, actionable information about the South Florida condo market with club members. If you are not yet a member of the club, we would encourage you to consider joining at Miami Condo Club. The club's mission is to foster a community that shares real-time, actionable intelligence on the latest real estate trends, emerging opportunities, and trusted service providers throughout South Florida. Whether you're a do-it-yourself DIY condo buyer or a seasoned real estate professional, the club provides invaluable resources, including up-to-date statistics, expert analysis, and access to tailored consulting services. An added benefit of the club is that members receive discounts on all Miami Condo Correction walking and bus tours. Please visit miamicondoclub.eventbrite.com for a schedule of upcoming tours. Welcome to the August 2025 monthly meeting.
Good afternoon, South Florida. This is Peter Zalewski. I'm the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Check out the website, miamicondo.club. You're tuning into our August 2025 monthly meeting. Over the course of the next hour, I'm going to give you an update as to what's going on in the South Florida condo market based on the research we've been doing for the last 4 weeks or so. I'm also going to give you an update, not an update, but an outlook as to what to expect for the remainder of the summer buying season. Summer buying season goes from May through October. Coming into summer buying season, we predicted that this would be a summer of paralysis by analysis. Another way to view it is a summer of wait and see. We're going to get into what happened and where we're going forward. I went ahead and I provided a bunch of supplemental information. It's all provided in the link that was emailed to you. I sent it off on Tuesday night. If you click on that link, you're simply going to be able to find all the charts so you can follow at home. As mentioned, this presentation will last about an hour. We'll also do a Q&A shortly right at the 1 o'clock mark. That'll go till about 1:15. I'll answer any and all questions that you might have. We're very conscious of your time. Therefore, if you need to leave early, rest assured, we will have a copy of this presentation. It'll be available by Friday. Don't hold me to it, but I've been able to process stuff relatively quickly. Fingers crossed lately. So we might even have it up tonight or even Thursday, but it'll definitely be up by Friday. So that's kind of the overview. Let me thank you all for being members of the Miami Condo Investing Club. We appreciate your support. And, we're excited to be able to bring you information that basically is coming out ahead of the curve. Why do I say that? Well, we're being quoted quite a bit about some of our predictions, about some of our projections. Hopefully, we're going to continue to be on pace and correct in our predictions. Just recently, or yesterday, I should say, we were interviewed by the New York Times. There'll be a piece coming out in the New York Times talking about what's going on in the condo market. And then before that, we were in the Wall Street Journal and other publications. The Miami Herald. I'm also doing some appearances on local podcasts, including the Miami Community News. So you might be seeing me a little bit there. And, just want you to know a lot of things that I'm saying to reporters and or on these podcasts. I'm sharing with you first and foremost, and that's one of the real values of being a member of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Miami Condo Investing Club, if you're not aware, is all about trying to build a community where we can share real-time information with members of the club, giving you insight that is Wall Street level insight about the condo market, so you can go ahead and make the decisions that are necessary for your business. Our members are everybody from investors to real estate professionals to lenders, to anybody who maybe is even just a gadfly, wants to know what's going on in the marketplace. Our role and our responsibility, at least the way I see it, is to give you information that's ahead of the curve, give you some first mover advantage to be able to go ahead and take advantage of some of these volatile conditions that we're in right now. Now, before I go ahead and get into the presentation, I want to kind of lay out the rules of engagement. First and foremost, the things I'm going to share with you, it's all based on research that I am doing personally. I have some people around me, support people who also do research. But generally speaking, I'm pulling the research. I like to get in there and grind it out on my own. I'm not a big believer in relying on other people's information. And what are my sources? Where do I get the information from? Well, it's going to be coming primarily from public records. Some of it will be private research. Other parts of it will be conversations I'm having with individuals who are out there in the street who are actually involved in the condo market here in South Florida. We always provide sources for our information, and we'll give you a way to, if you want to go ahead and you want to verify it, we encourage it. I bring that up because one of the topics we're going to be discussing today is going to deal with the accuracy of data going forward. You may or may not have heard just recently, beginning of this month in August, a member of the person who was in charge of the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the federal government was fired. Why were they fired? They were fired. Well, I should tell you, they released job growth numbers at 8:30 in the morning. I think it was August the 1st. Between 2 and 3 o'clock that afternoon, they were fired. Why? President Donald Trump did not agree with the information, therefore fired that person. Is since replaced this position, which is a statistician position, basically the tip of the spear, with a bunch of statisticians and economists below who are all feeding information. It all gets put into like a model, if you will, and it spits out a number. Is all the information accurate? Is it all complete? Well, my opinion is they try to collect information best they can. They always do it the same way. Therefore, it's apples to apples. So it might not be perfect, but at least it's consistent, which is really what you look for when you're trying to put together, some sort of projection about what's going on, as well as looking at where were we in the past. Well, the new person who came in, there's some talk about possibly no longer releasing monthly information, but more so doing it on a quarterly basis. What are the issues? What are the concerns with that? Well, think about information as a raw material that gets plugged into a device, an algorithm, a model, and it spits out a number, and a lot of decisions are sort of based on that. So it's like the old saying goes, whatever you put in comes out. So if you can put good information in, you're probably going to have a good information out. If you put bad information in, there could be bad information out. So the idea is accuracy. The idea is giving you real-time information to be able to go forward. And unfortunately, this is probably going to become an issue going forward where there are questions and there are some concerns and doubts about the information. If it's not rosy enough, can you actually believe it? And will it be suppressed? Will it be censored? So I'm against all of that. I was a journalist for 13 years, and the way I approach things now is the exact same way I approached it when I was a journalist. It's also the same way I approach it when I do expert witness work. I have been admitted in the circuit court as well as U.S. federal bankruptcy court. So, what you say you need to be able to sort of defend. And that's kind of our approach. So I just wanted to start off with that and kind of lay it out to you. Now, talking about this community, let me go ahead and bring up and suggest to you, because some of you might be DIYers. Some of you might be doing it on your own. You want to go out there and you feel like you don't need a realtor, which you may or may not. Depends on how much time you want to put in. But if you don't need a realtor and you want to do it on your own DIY, you might want to have some suggestions of maybe some of the groups or some of the service providers that could actually, help you along the way on your journey of either buying a condo. Maybe you're a developer. Maybe you want to build something and, you're going through the process. You want to know, what can I put on there? What should I pay for the dirt? That's another way you can kind of use some of our service providers. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to bring up some of our service providers just so I can give you an update about that. And then once I do, what we will then do is we will get into our presentation. As mentioned, we have roughly about an hour or so. And at the end of that hour, we will go ahead and answer questions. And again, by Friday, copies of this will be made readily available. So with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. I will go over the service providers, and then we're going to go ahead and get into my presentation. So I am sharing my screen right now. Let me go ahead and find it. There we go. And it should be coming up right now. There you go. So service providers, these are all groups that we've worked with. We have a relationship. We know them, and we're willing to recommend them. It's not a lot of groups that I will recommend. I have a lot of doubts. I have a lot of concerns about people, groups, stuff like that. But these are groups that we would actually sign off on. So if you were looking for anything related to title, if you were looking for anything related to escrow, anything with a closing, a third party type of entity where you can have some assurance that, what's promised is actually going to be delivered, I would suggest you check out Candor Title and Closing. It's owned and run by a woman called Clarita Rosa. And I encourage you to check out the Candor Title and Closing if you're interested in anything related to a closing, escrow, any and all of the above. Next up is going to be zoning, permitting, entitlements. Maybe you were doing some work, you got caught, you didn't pull permits, and now you have a red tag. Maybe you have a piece of dirt, or you have a house and you want to sell it, but you want to sell it to a developer who might be able to put something up on that site. I'd encourage you to reach out to Ann Christine Carey. She has a company called Miami 21 Zoning and Entitlements. Ann Christine Carey, Miami 21 Zoning and Entitlements. And, I should tell you, if you do reach out to any of these groups, please let them know that you are a club member, and as a result of being a club member, they should treat you like family. Continuing down the list, maybe some of you are looking for contractors, somebody to do some jobs for you. We would recommend Andres Alvarez Murcia. He's got a company called 3A Quality Services, Construction and Remodeling. Andre shows up, he does what he says he's going to do, and in terms of pricing, that's something you'll have to figure out. We all know what's going on with the labor situation right now. We all know what's going on with tariffs right now. But Andres is somebody to maybe start off with if you are looking for that type of work. Continuing down our list of service providers that we recommend, Jose Suarez. Jose has a company called Global Inventory Liquidators. What does Global Inventory Liquidators do? Basically, they go in and they buy out inventory that's getting discontinued. Maybe you're going from summer to winter or winter to summer, and a retailer, maybe it's furniture, is being discounted or it's being unloaded. Jose will go in there and buy all the inventory. He will then put a spread on it and resell it to you at a price where he's able to make a little bit, but yet you're still walking out the door below the retail price. Some of the different sectors Jose has or focuses on, they're going to include restaurants. They'll include offices. Maybe they're closing. Maybe they're buying a bunch of new furniture. Maybe they're moving. Any and all that type of stuff. If they need to move product and it's sizable, Jose's probably going to take a shot and maybe try and buy it. And then, as mentioned, he'll go ahead, he'll put a spread on it, and then he'll move it out the door. Some of you might be looking for granite. You might be looking for tile. You might be looking for marble. Company that I would recommend is Casa Linda Tile and Marble, run by a gentleman called Steve Mussolino. Steve's father set up the company back in 1970 or so, and Steve has taken over. He's running it himself. So if you're looking for somebody where you can deal with, where you can get your hands on tile, marble, granite, any and all the above, check out Casa Linda. They're out there in Durrell, just west of the Palmetto. And then finally, financing. Everybody knows mortgage broker. Everybody knows a banker. But if you are looking to maybe shop around and get an idea what's going on and what's really available on the conventional side and or the private sector side, private money, even hard money. Somebody like Grant Stern, Morningside Mortgage Corporation, they can go ahead and they can help you to get your hands on maybe at least information as to what the marketplace is currently. So known Grant for quite some time. He's shrewd, he has relationships, and he's got access. So if you're looking for a mortgage, consider Grant Stern Morningside Mortgage Corporation. Those are our service providers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave our screen up as we kind of get into our presentation. And I'm going to go over our agenda very quickly. Oh, by the way, while I do, let me just give you an update. This is the monthly meeting. You can see it's August the 13th. Our next monthly meeting, remember, always the second Wednesday of every month. These meetings occur at 12. They go till 1 and then a 15-minute Q&A. So our next monthly meeting is going to be September the 10th. September the 10th. Continue on downward. Then we get to our meetup sessions. Meetup sessions are something we offer for club members. Most of what we do is all going to be virtual. It's all going to be online. But sometimes you just want to get out there and meet people and talk shop with people who are in the industry. So we do these meetups. We always do them on the third Tuesday of the month. Why do we do it on the Tuesday rather than a Wednesday? Because Tuesdays are a kind of quiet night, especially as you get into the winter season when it gets extremely busy. Tuesdays are the night you can probably go, or we've been able to go in a restaurant or go into a venue, spend some time talking shop with other club members. We typically get anywhere in the vicinity from, we call it 12 to 30 people showing up to these meetups. They're all voluntary. There's no set agenda. Basically, I show up, others show up. There's discounts on drinks, discounts on food, and you're able to talk shop. So if any of these work for you, I'd encourage you to check it out. We're not doing any in August. Why? Because August is always when it starts to get ramped up with the hurricane season. We got a lot of activity. In fact, we got a storm out in the Atlantic right now called Aaron. So, August is always touch and go. It's also the time when schools go back. because schools are growing back, a lot of parents will take their kids on vacation. So August is kind of one of those months where you kind of have to give it a pass because people have other responsibilities, but we will be coming back on September the 16th. We're doing it up on the Upper East Side in Miami. The month after that in October, we'll be doing Hallandale. And then when we start to get into the winter, we're going to do one in Fort Lauderdale. So remember, third Tuesday of every month. They typically go from 5:30 to 8, although our meetups tend to go much longer. Lately, they've been going primarily till about 10 o'clock or so because nobody wants to leave. Everybody's enjoying themselves and they're having a great time. Continuing onward, we also have two for our Founders Club members and for those individuals who maybe want to do one-off sessions. We were doing lunches. We were doing lunch and learns, if you will, where I bring in a guest speaker, somebody who can talk shop about a particular segment of the industry. And you have an opportunity to go in there and listen one-on-one, typically anywhere from 6 to 8 people. And, you get lunch and you're able to learn. So we don't have anything planned until October the 1st. Let me take a quick drink, continuing onward. And finally, we're getting to our agenda. Here's our agenda. So I'm hoping to hit 13 points during this agenda. And what we're going to deal with is we are going to be dealing with key financial indicators. We'll also deal with the halfway mark of the summer buying season. We went ahead, we did an analysis, we checked it out. We gave you our opinions, and I'm going to share our opinions related to that. We'll also talk about the future accuracy of data. I made reference to it right at the beginning of the podcast, but we're going to continue on, and I'll maybe drill down a little bit more and give you some in-depth details. Also, short-term rentals. Some of you are looking at condos and you're thinking, okay, let me go ahead and buy a condo. I'll use it a couple months a year, and then I'll go ahead and rent it out. Well, sometimes short-term rentals actually offer the best opportunity because you're able to charge more per night than you would per month. So we will get into that. We'll give you an update of what's happening there. Then we'll get into Miami International Airport numbers, passenger numbers for international trips. They're actually down. They're down this year. This is the first time since the pandemic year of 2020. We'll tell you what's going on. We'll also tell you why. And then we're going to get into the Condo Cliff Index. This is an index we set up in January the 1st. Why? Because we wanted to be able to gauge and measure on a real-time basis what's going on with the condo market, especially as it pertains to supply. And then finally, we'll have our conclusion, and then we'll get into our Q&A. So that being said, let's go ahead and hit on